I'm Todd Compton with Colliers Engineering and Design. I'm the Division Director for the Geo-environmental division. Peter Gunnarson Rambo is my 10th great-grandfather. I'm directly related to him from my father's mother's side of the family. She was a Rambo. So he was born around 1611 in a place called Ramberget, which I think is called the Place of the Raven, which used to be an island, now is part of Gothenburg, Sweden. He came over here in 1640 on the Kalmar Nickel and landed near where Wilmington, Delaware is today, which was kind of the beginnings of the colony of New Sweden. I've tried over years to research as far back as I can into my family. And I ran across him through a lot of the genealogical research my family had done. And finding out that he's called the father of New Sweden, and started researching and found out where he was likely buried at the Gloria Dei, All Swedes Church. Stopped into the church and met with the church elders, and that's how this all got started. It's a very prominent place. The Gloria Dei, All Swedes Church was on the National Historic Register before Liberty Hall was. I had a letter from the church asking for permission from the Rambo family. They wanted to use something called ground penetrating radar. Ground penetrating radar is a non-invasive way to see what's under the ground. Without having to do any digging, you can locate things that are buried pretty deep underground. So we used our ground penetrating radar group out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey. So we did some investigating down the catacombs. There's nothing under the right vestibule. If he's here, he has to be right outside the vestibule. And our ground penetrating radar group found the grave. I was actually in the catacomb when Alex Ross told me to come up. He had found something and he had flagged out the rectangle, and he said, "Do you want to say hello?" I put my hands as far in the dirt as I could and I said, "I found you. You matter." That's tying over 400 years of my family. He's exactly where the family's always said he was. Within the confines of the church, it is a National Park Service site. So this allows our group to do some work on the National Park Service with the church. And so we're going to continue to use it as a training ground, which they're going to allow us to do over time as we grow the group. It's a perfect training ground because you have known anomalies that are underground where a tombstone is. So taking the ground penetrating radar equipment, moving it over that site, you will be able to train somebody easier saying, "Hey, look, can you see the anomalies here?" Unfortunately, there are probably a lot of unmarked graves. But even if you can't ever tell, acknowledging that someone's buried in a place is still honoring that person. So there's a lot of good that comes out of finding Peter for sure.